Welcome to the Phantom Forces Weapon Spotlight, a series where I give a more subdued, informative look on weapons. In this episode, we'll be talking about the BFG 50. The BFG 50 is a 50 BMG sniper rifle unlocked at rank 65, and it serves as the very first 50 BMG rifle the player can unlock. It is a rather controversial weapon, which we will get into later on in the video. The BFG 50 deals 100 damage after 50 studs, which gradually falls off to 95 damage by 250 studs. It has a 1.5 times body multiplier and a 3 times head multiplier. This results in a one-shot kill to any part of the body up to 50 studs, and one-shot kill to the head and body beyond that point, while retaining 2-shot kill to the limbs. The muzzle velocity is 3000 studs per second and has a 10 stud penetration depth. It can only chamber one round at a time, with 42 rounds in reserve, and has a reload speed of exactly 3.6 seconds. It has very high recoil, but is completely irrelevant as the BFG can only chamber one round. Finally, it has a 13 walk speed with a very average 11 aim speed. Compared to other sniper rifles, the BFG 50 is actually a rather light sniper rifle, coming in at 13 walk speed. Other notable snipers like the Intervention or the AWM sits at 12 walk speed, while the Mosin sits at 14, and it's also the lightest of all the 50 BMG sniper rifles. Due to this walk speed and its single shot nature, the BFG leans into this mobile playstyle, because being a sitting duck while reloading is usually a death sentence, but being too mobile and running into enemies at close range will also get you killed. Moving from place to place while keeping a distance on your enemies seem to be the most effective way to use the BFG. Now, this weapon is a little controversial, as it is often seen as a no-skill weapon, while many people always seem to claim that this weapon is overpowered. In truth, I don't believe it's not, but it's a little more nuanced than that. Indeed, this weapon is very easy to use compared to other sniper rifles. You don't have to aim for the head to reliably get kills for it. However, it's also incredibly slow. You have a 3.6 second delay between each shot. So, is the weapon good? No, but it's very easy to use. That being said, I would consider the BFG as a sort of low skill floor, high skill ceiling weapon, as in order to actually compete with any other weapon at all or any other snipers, you're going to have to be able to reliably hit every single shot like the moment you finish reloading, because every other weapon in the game is infinitely faster than the BFG. Not only that, you would need to be able to maintain distance from enemies all the time, because if anybody gets too close, you only have one shot to make it count, and if you miss, you will most likely die. Or, in another situation, say someone is able to get to you while you're reloading, you're either a sitting duck, or you need to switch over to your secondary to kill that person, which will interrupt your reload, making it even longer. So, in conclusion, the BFG encourages you to be mobile, and it's not a very powerful one. It's not a very strong one. Disclaimer: in the following sections, I will be talking about notable attachments for this weapon. However, I firmly believe that attachment choice should come down to personal preference. So, take this purely as information and with a grain of salt. Available for every 50 BMG rifle, the .416 Barrett conversion reduces the range and penetration for higher muzzle velocity. It is quite good on the BFG, as it does not hurt the shots to kill for body and head whatsoever at any range, but you won't be using the BFG at close range anyway for you to be feeling the detriment to limb damage range. More muzzle velocity is always nice, as it allows you to hit moving targets and further away targets easier. The penetration depth reduction reduces the penetration depth from 10 studs to 6 studs. However, you're most likely not going to notice this change, as you're unlikely to be using all 10 studs on the default BFG anyway. Available for every 50 BMG rifle, the slab rounds reduces your overall damage and body multiplier while doubling your penetration depth. This makes it so the BFG can no longer one-shot the body at any range, and I don't believe it's a good trade-off to get even more penetration depth that you may or may not fully use. This round is especially problematic on the BFG, as it makes the weapon even more unforgiving as it is now that it requires you to hit headshots. The .17 Wildcat conversion is exclusive to the BFG, and it highly reduces your damage and reduces your penetration depth to 0. However, it doubles your muzzle velocity. This results in a ridiculous 6,000 studs per second on the BFG, which makes hitting moving targets and further away targets much easier. However, much like the slap rounds, this makes it so the BFG can no longer one-shot kill to the body. Removing the stock increases walk speed on the BFG while also increasing its recoil. This allows you to lean even more into the BFG's mobile playstyle. However, you can completely disregard the recoil increase, as the BFG only holds one shot anyway. A skeleton grip is always a good choice on snipers, as it increases aim speed with no downsides. Short barrel increases your walk speed at the cost of range and slightly lower muzzle velocity. This is an all-round good barrel option, as it helps you further lean into the mobile playstyle, while the range penalty doesn't hurt your shots to kill at all, and the muzzle velocity is very manageable. Long barrel gives the BFG more muzzle velocity and better range at the cost of walk speed and aim speed. While it is highly advised to be mobile while using the BFG, if you are forced to play very defensively or you're being spawn camped and you can't move around much, this may be a good choice. Carbine barrel highly increases walk speed and aim speed while reducing your minimum damage to 90 and lowering your muzzle velocity, as well as adding a choke stat. This is a good choice if you're planning to play very aggressively and getting into your enemy's faces despite being very dangerous. The damage reduction does not hurt your shots to kill. However, the slower muzzle velocity and choke makes the weapon weaker and harder to use at range, especially choke, as this stat adds innate inaccuracy to a weapon. Thank you for watching Phantom Force's Weapon Spotlight. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, as I will be making more videos like this in the future. See you next time.